Locals from Homer, Alaska will tell you their tiny town is where the land ends and the water begins. Located along the Kenai Peninsula, it's home to a little more than 5,000 residents. Hi, and welcome back to this special edition of Ducks Weekly. I'm your host, Mark Rogandino. I mentioned Homer, Alaska, because that was the preferred home for a family of 5 California transplants who lived there until 2009, then relocating back to Southern California. Now, 4 out of the 5 have worked in this building right here at Anaheim Ice. The 5th, well, he's pretty good on the ice. I'll let them tell you the rest of their story.
We lived in Homer, Alaska, which when we moved there, I believe there was only maybe a couple other Hispanic families.
A small town that everyone knows each other. Everyone's nice to each other. There were no problems.
So everybody kind of looked out for each other, and to raise kids, we felt, both my husband and I just felt it was like the perfect place.
So it goes from like 6,000 people to about 40 to 35,000 people during the summer, because the fishing industry is when it's at its top. And so with an influx of college students and workers that migrate there, I would say, and start working at the factories.
My oldest son, Dominic, and my daughter and my husband, George, went to this hockey swap, and there was this individual. He's in charge of all the hockey there in the small town. His name was Kevin Bell.
Wow, Kevin. Actually, I walked in there to get gear for one child. I walked out with gear for all 3 of my children, and I could not get one word in edgewise. Talking to that man was like trying to take a drink from a fire hydrant, you know what I mean? There's no way that you could actually do that. So it's he convinced me, you know, this is the way, this is what you got to do for your kids, and he wasn't going to stop. I mean, it was pretty much a threat. I'm not going to stop bothering you till your kids are playing hockey.
Here he was coaching a little mite team. My son was 4. There was a couple 5-year-olds and then 6-year-olds on the team, and he would take them into the big city to Anchorage to play against 7-8-year-old boys. And then finally, his team ended up winning the state championship. Yeah,
it was a ragtag team of different age groups. They gave Kevin what his wish was. His dream was to win a state championship. But when Kevin passed away, and Rick really took the reins of pretty much the coaching and advising us and what would be the next step for Zeke, because he obviously saw something in Zeke that stood out to him. And we took his word on it, because he's coached pretty much anybody who's come out of Alaska.
So he was telling us, now that the Anaheim Ducks won the Stanley Cup, Southern California is going to be the place to go. You know, you need to take your son there. We finally said, okay, Southern California, we have all our family there. We're going to be going to visit this summer. And it just happened to be that junior duck tryouts when we were here.
We came to Anaheim Ice for the tryout. Went out there not thinking much, just wanted to do my best. They ended up picking me, and that's when I begged my dad to stay.
When we told the coach and the manager, you know, my son really wants this. You know, my husband's going to stay with him, but he doesn't have a job. You know, is there any way you guys can help, or until we find something for him, you know, we might have to kind of hold off on that. The manager said, you know, we can get him a job here, don't worry about it. She talked to Art Trottier, which is the vice president of the rinks, and he started working here.
Hockey's pretty popular in Alaska, but for them to move down here and try to improve his hockey skills is saying a lot for the hockey in California right now. Like I said, it's really improved the last few years. The quality of kids coming out of our programs they're starting to excel.
I hate to admit it, but I think I'm that crazy hockey dad definition. I mean, we're all in, you know, we're all in, and every single member of my family, you know, has definitely supported each other in everything that they do. Every member of my family is involved in one way or another with either operating a rink, managing a rink, or working as an associate.
He started out and played for the first couple years with the junior ducks.
He'd be sitting in the break room, he'd be sitting in the lobby doing homework, and then he'd always come up here and ask if there was any open ice, could he jump on and work on his skills. We always let him. He
was homeschooled for 5 years, and this school year is the first year that he goes back to an actual school. He got the opportunity to go back, go to J. Sarah. He really wanted to play high school sports, high school hockey.
It's really unreal. It can't describe it through words. My dad and mom have been extremely dedicated. I'm extremely grateful that they went through all this for me, and so every time I step on the ice, I dedicate my game to them.
My only hopes is that he's happy, and happy in doing whatever he does. I just know that I did the best, his mom did the best, and his siblings did the best to support him in every which way, regardless of what it is in his life, that he knows that we have his back and he has our support.